like relationship, business, finances, and many more. Live streaming into the whole continent with Ali.
You are listening to Go Youth Podcast with Ali SA. So, let's talk about all the societal issues affecting the youth, issues such as relationships, money, and many more. Lucky thing is that you can listen to Go Youth Podcast in the comfort of your own home. Go Youth Podcast, by the youth, for the youth, about the youth. You are listening.
I love you, and I know that you love me. But please, never let me look like a beggar for love. If it is not working, the moment you realize that you don't need me anymore, look me straight in the eyes and tell me that you don't need me. I will be peaceful. Will I hurt? Yes, it will hurt. Will I have problems? Yes, it will not be easy to cope without you. But I will be more peaceful knowing that you are no more in my life. I love you. Some people will always try to use you the moment they realize that you love them so much that you can sacrifice anything to keep them. But listen here. It is upon you to love yourself, to be able to distinguish between someone who is taking advantage of your love and someone who is loving you truly. Some people.
You are listening to Go Youth Podcast with Ali SA. Greatest topics of the world like relationship, business, finances, and many more. Live streaming into the whole continent with Ali. You are listening to Go Youth Podcast.
All right. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone. My name is Ali. I am not alone tonight. With my co-host here by the name of Rumo. Rumo will be actually rolling the light here. I'll be seconding Runo. Good evening to everyone. Runo.
Hi.
We are good and you, Rumo. We're very good. All right. Thank you so much. Just that there's an echo that was coming from your side, Rumo. Very quickly, we have our guest tonight by the name of John Cora. My brother John Cora, can you please introduce yourself to the house? And we apologize for starting late, my brother. It's South Africa here with load shedding issues here. Apologies for that.
It's okay, brother. I hope that you can hear me because, we are using technology. And sometimes we could be having some issues, but I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you. So my name is John Cora. I'm a life coach. Thanks for reaching out to me, Ali, for this kind of a conversation where we're going to talk a lot of things in terms of relationships. I'm a relationship coach. I'm originally from Kenya. I'm born, raised, and studied in Kenya. Then I moved to Bahrain for work. It's a matter of trying to get how you can put things on table. So currently I work and live in Bahrain, but what I do passionately is life coach, which entails a lot of things. A lot of people ask, what do you mean by, life coaching? It's about just trying to help people to, to go through whatever you can do in life. You can be having some financial problems, you can be having relationship problems, you can be having educational problems. You don't know what to study, you don't know how to go about your studies or how to go about your relationship, what to take your life and how to take your life. So it's a process of just like a person who is helping a small kid to grow and to know how to eat. That's what we do, and that's what I'm passionate about, and that's why Ali met me on social media here, and we are here now talking from very far away places,
Yeah. All right. Also, one thing, where are you joining us from? Before my colleague Rumo will be coming back, where are you joining us from also?
I am in Bahrain. I said currently I live in Bahrain, so I'm joining you from Bahrain.
Okay. All right. Not a problem. Rumo?
Good knowing you, sir. It means it's gonna be late tonight. I'm ready to take notes. But first thing I would like to ask you is that what is good in dating the wrong person?
Wow, a very beautiful question to ask. And I don't know, personally, I always feel that this is always the best opportunity that people should have, especially when you are new in relationship, when you're starting off. Relationship is a lot of things. It can be a relationship with work, career-wise, relationship with family, and relationship with some other things. But now, when we talk about dating, we are talking about a man trying to have a woman in their life, or a woman trying to find a man in their lives. So everyone is looking for a man or a woman who can give them what they are looking for, which basically people talk about happiness, true love, loyalty, and so many things, the gifts that you want to be given and every time. But the best part of a relationship is dating a wrong person. Because the moment you find someone who is not fit for you, it will help you, first of all, to know what you are good at and what works for you and something that doesn't work for you. You see, in today's generation, we do not have a guarantee that the first woman or first man you are meeting in your life is the person you are going to live with for the rest of your lives. So, my advice to people out there is you need to take your time. You need to be slow and do not rush to do things with relationships. And that's why when you meet a wrong person, they will train you to know how to handle the right person. They will train you to understand what doesn't work for you. They will train you also to understand what works for you. Because everything that we have in our lives come from the history. And history is a past thing. We can relate to it, we can correct the things that we did wrong, and we can improve the things that we did right. So having somebody who is not right for you will open your mind, instead of, a lot of people try so hard, like, I just need the right person. And sometimes we find the right person without knowing what works for us, without knowing ourselves, without identifying what doesn't work for us, and then we lose them, thinking that we lost the wrong people. But we are losing the right person just because we have never been through something that taught us what exactly we need. Because we are told that when you are spoon fed, you can never know how hard it is to go and get. So getting a wrong person gives you an opportunity to know how to handle, how to keep, and how to maintain a right relationship.
Wow, that's very informative. I guess everyone will learn from this and they won't condemn themselves for dating the wrong people. So, moving forward, you can't find true love by feeding loneliness. Is that true? And please tell us more on that.
That's another good question over there. And I want to say this: true love at percentage of 90 or 90% doesn't exist nowadays, but true love exists in 100%. I think that's confusing, right? What I mean by this is a lot of people, 90% of the people across the world are in relationships where people talk about true love. But out of these 90% of people, they don't experience true love. Now, when you are this person who is so lonely, the reason why true love will never come when you are lonely is this person who doesn't know himself or herself is a situation of desperation. I always advise my students that you don't start a relationship when you are desperate. You see, it's like when you are going to give food to somebody who has starved for so many times. You've starved for a period of 5 or 10 days, and then somebody approaches you and tells you, what kind of food will you eat? You will automatically tell people that I will not choose the food. What I need is something to put in my stomach. So when you are lonely, what you're looking for is somebody to fill that gap of loneliness. It's not looking for someone to give you what you expect as a person. You don't have a choice. You cannot present things on the table. You will pick what is available. So that's why people don't find true love when they are lonely. And a lot of, you see, in today's world, a lot of women are crying for having been duped in relationships. Why? Because women get into relationship when they're lonely. When a woman is in relationship, even when that relationship is not right for them, they are comfortable. They can match it. They will be crying, but they're just in it. But the moment the man says, I don't want you anymore, they speak from there and they want to get into a new relationship. So I would wish to advise somebody that it is better for you to get into a new relationship when you are still dating another person, but you're not feeling comfortable there. It's not because you are lonely. It's because there is no comfort in where you are. You know the reason why you are leaving this relationship for the other one. But you see, when you are alone, that what you are coming to feel is loneliness. These guys, they know how to feel the loneliness. They will give you warmth. They will give you those good nights that you want. And before you know it, they're nowhere to be seen because you are desperate. So it's a matter of don't get in relationship when you are desperate for something. It's not only about loneliness. You're desperate for maybe you want to go for higher studies and you cannot pay your fees, and a man comes up and is like, you know what, I can pay in as much as you want to study, wherever you can go, I'll pay it. When you get into that relationship, the result will be you'll be desperate again for something else.
Wow. If
If
yeah,
Yeah,
if I can
if
add on that,
I
yeah.
can add on that, yeah. It's dangerous, eh? It means it's dangerous. From today on, I refuse to be desperate. Moving forward, can you kindly tell us how do you know that you were used after a breakup?
Um,
Um,
well, a very
well,
wonderful question there here. You know, this is a question that I got on my TikTok live when I was doing a live, and I was talking about relationships that work. And then a lady commented and said that no, I'm sick and tired of talking about we being used just because I had sex with another woman, just because I slept with another man and this man left me. And I agreed. And I went down and I did my research and I found out that yeah, people are talking about have been used, after somebody breaks up with another man, especially women do this. After breaking up, they're like, he was just using me. So when you ask her, how were you used? What they will explain is like, this guy just wanted to sleep with me. That's all. So is that what you mean was being used? And then they will be like, yeah, after all, this is my body. It is special. It is private thing. And so the moment you forget that this is your body, and when you allow a man to sleep with you and have what you so protect as a private and you love, then you're not being used. Remember, that person is also offering a body that he so admire, he so protect. So being used comes in a situation where something was picked from you without your intention. For example, somebody who will tell me that he was used because somebody slept with them is somebody who was forced to do that. So if you want to know that somebody used you after breakup, you had a relationship with them and then they decided to clear that relationship. Now you want to assess to find out whether I was used or not. Was it just a relationship that was meant to last 5 days or one night? There are some relationship that you accept, you agree as a woman or a man, but this is just gonna be a one night party and that's it. But then there is this person who comes and camouflages, and he talks about a very bright future. He talks about, I have been there, did that, and now I want to settle. So you are getting into this relationship with the mind that this guy has promised to take me as a wife. And before you know it, he's gone. That's one way you can know that you've been used. But the biggest part of being used is when a material has been shared. For example, I always tell people that as a woman, you want to start a relationship when you are independent. Like you can buy your own things. You can self sufficiently protect, defend, provide, and offer the pleasure of we call it the pleasure of the world to yourself without depending on another man. So the moment you depend on a man and the man gives it to you and then you disappear, the problem starts. That's being used. The moment a man invests his money on you and he purchases everything with intention of marrying you, and before he knows it, you are nowhere to be found, that is being used. The moment a man comes and uses those luring words, it is about convincing you with some lies. It's not about people agreed. I came to you, we talked, you said, oh yeah, I'm in. And I did not use any lie. I was like, I just want a woman. I'm so lonely. I've been looking for a woman I can date. I want to date you. Are you ready to date me? You say, yes, I'm ready to date you. No promises. It's just like, I want to date you. This guy never promised anything. This guy never talked about your future. This guy never talked about what he wants to do in your life. He just approached you and he told you, I want to date you. And you start dating. And before you know it, you've opened your legs. You've given everything. And this guy hasn't given anything. Then you go back home. He's taken the precious part of your body. And when you're trying to call, he's nowhere to be seen. The line is like he's been deactivated. You go to social media, he's not there. Then you start like, oh, he used me. That guy never used you. We people, both men and women, we need to understand the reason why you are getting into relationship. People don't ask, why am I going into this relationship? See, people are just like, oh, that guy is, he's been pushing some vibes. I don't know. I'm still not, I'm scared. But you're just scared of saying yes or no. You're not scared of his intentions. So if you want to know that somebody used you, is when somebody told you their intention and you agreed to those intentions, and then they did the opposite of the intentions that they had talked about. But when you people agree without, you see, it's just like let's say a job contract. You go to a company, they offer you a job, they didn't even give you an offer letter to see the terms of this job. Then you get to that office and you are given tons and tons of work to do with a very small payment. You do not want to tell us that these people used you. You used yourself because you never asked for, where is my duties and responsibilities? I will sign something that I already know. Okay? So for you to understand why you were used and how you were used, you need to understand yourself before you get into any kind of a relationship.
Wow, this is massive. This is massive. And I'm glad you actually speaking my language, because every time I tell ladies to be independent so that they could avoid being in wrong relationships with the wrong partners. And on your videos, you usually encourage people to date before falling in love. So I want to get clarity on that.
Oh my. All right. So I want to say something before I get to that. You see, we are in a very different generation compared to a generation that has passed before us. And I've been reading books. Books are there about dating that were written in 90s, books are there about dating that were written in 70s, and books are there about dating that are written today. So in my teachings, I teach people to forget about the books that were written in 90s. Forget about the books that were written in 70s. Those were books for those generations, and it worked for them. Now we are in our generation and we need to write our books. So I teach through experience and through those people who come with their problems and those people who have been there, done that, and passed through that. This is what I tell people. It is okay to be experienced before you go playing football. You will never see a sports person who goes to competition without doing an exercise. And when I mean exercise in dating, I don't mean that you should go to, practice styles to go show somebody how you know good styles, but it's about knowing what works in relationship and what doesn't work. And you cannot know that by reading books in today's generation. You can only know that by sitting and having relationships. That's why I advise people this. Get into relationships, knowing yourself, protect yourself. Protect that one thing that you know. When somebody touches and leaves, you will be disappointed. When somebody touches that and leaves, you will be heartbroken. Protect it. The moment you protect it, even if this relationship goes or dies, you will never be heartbroken. You have to date. Dating doesn't mean sleeping around with men and women. We misunderstand the term and the reason for dating. It's like we call it courtship. If you're a Christian, you know that before marriage, there is that period of courtship where a woman and a man has to go through some guidance and counseling. And it's a process where you have to learn the person you want to get in relationship with. And if it's not working for you, you feel like, even though my parents chose this lady, she's not right for me. My parents chose this man, he's not right for me. I was settling for this guy, but through the courtship, I've realized he's not the right person for me. So this is the kind of dating I'm talking about. It's like a courtship. Court a man, court a woman before you start loving them. Date them. Date them, be closer to them. And you see, love is a very difficult thing. It's not a simple thing. And I want to caution women. Men don't fall in love by telling you they love you. Men take time to fall in love. So do not rush to put your heart into a relationship that you have not screwed and understood whether it's going to work or not. Be a person who can date. I can tell you as a man, we date women when they're loving us. We start a relationship and we are dating you. In fact, when we meet in our groups, we are like, I'm still, studying her. She looks so good, she does these things in a good way, but I'm still not sure about her. But at that time, that lady is already fallen in love with you full-heartedly. But a man is still, beating about the bush, trying to see if it works. So men already understands that it's better to date before falling in love. Men can be with you, dating you for 2, 3 years, 4 years, but you are loving them. That's why people ask that, imagine how much I have been loving this guy. We have been in this relationship for the last 10 years, but he has just decided to marry another woman. You know why? Because men date. Men don't love. Men love at the last moment of a relationship. The moment you see a man deciding to settle for you, that's when he falls in love. They don't fall in love while dating. They just date. That's why he can date even 10 of them. And he doesn't care. It doesn't even sound to him something. So the most important thing that you want to do as a person is to date. Date and be sure that you are giving your heart to a person who is really going to take care of that heart. Not a person who is going to use that heart in a way that they love themselves. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Like, I'm taking notes. It means from today on, I'm no longer gonna love anybody. I'm just gonna date. Because this industry, you cannot confirm it. But anyway, thank you so much for this informative information. This is not only for me, but it's for every lady out there. I think they will learn and then they'll take action on that. So going forward, do you believe that perfect love exists though?
No, I don't believe. In fact, there's on a general term, there's nothing that is perfect. There is only a working love. There's no perfect love. Because if you're looking for perfection, then you need to go create some robots. And remember, even robots sometimes, like my friend Ali was saying, from nowhere, electricity is gone. Robot will not work. Sometimes there are some wires or maybe capacitors that burn out. They will not work. So there's no perfect love, but there is a love that is working, a love that is born of understanding and great communication. And that's where I bring in the most important part of a love relationship. There are only two things. Forget about love, forget about loyalty, forget about gifts, forget about somebody who cares about you and whatsoever. There are only two things. If you want a love that works, not a perfect love, but a love that works, you need only to know how to communicate and you need to know how to forgive. The moment you know what I can forgive and what I cannot forgive, and you know how to communicate. Why? Because we make mistakes. And if you communicate well, you can be forgiven. So if I learn how to communicate, my partner understands how to forgive, she will forgive me. If she learns how to communicate and I understand how to forgive, I will forgive her. The problem is we focus all our energy looking for a perfect relationship, a relationship where somebody doesn't do wrong, a relationship where somebody doesn't flat around, a relationship where somebody doesn't take 3 hours with a different, gender, a relationship where somebody doesn't make mistakes, but mistakes are bound to be there. So we need only to understand what makes a relationship work. We don't need to push for a perfect one, because what do people understand is a perfect relationship? True love. Where is true love? Only God knows. So you need to understand that the things we are looking for in relationship, they exist, but we need to go deep and dig deeper into relationship and understand that only two things make it work. You've got to communicate properly, be understood, and make sure they understand you. Sometimes you just throw words. Nobody understands, but you believe that you talked and somebody understood you. When you wake up in the morning, bags have been packed, somebody's leaving, and you're like, what happened? I thought we talked. Yeah, you talked, but nobody understood what you're talking about. So we have to learn how to communicate. The moment we finish learning how to communicate, we can be so much high and better than just learning to find that true love, working so hard to find somebody who is loyal. A man will only be loyal when you know how to communicate with him. A woman will only respect you when you know how to communicate with her. Sometimes you want to do something that they don't like, but if you communicate in the best way, they will say, all right, you will go for it. Sometimes she is too, women, I believe that a good woman is a woman who is, how do you call it, who fights, and it's not a physical fight, a woman who is troublesome. And it's not troublesome that is going to cause you pain, but it's a woman who is curious. So a woman, a perfect woman, as people put it, but for me, I put a woman who can give you a good working relationship is a woman who is curious. Hey, where are you going? Hey, what time are you coming back? Hey, I saw you putting this here. What does it mean? That's a woman who can make a perfect relationship. And a man who tones down and says, darling, let's sit down and fix it. I know I am wrong, but the man knows exactly he's not wrong. Because these people we are dealing with, they are kids. They're emotionally stronger than us, but they are still children. We need to give them fatherly love. So the moment you become a father, father doesn't just punish. A father tones down and sits down with the kid and tells the kid that this is how it is.
Yeah.
So
Can I
communicate
ask you
well.
can I ask you a quick question, John? Can I ask you a quick question
Yes,
while we're
Ali.
still there? You're
Yeah.
speaking about two things. I had my colleague here, my colleague Arum asking a question. I just want to ask
Mm-hmm.
very quickly on that one that she's still on. You're speaking
Mm-hmm.
about no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm in the background. You're the only one on the screen.
Okay.
You're speaking about communication and about forgiveness. You know,
Mm-hmm.
these relationships that currently we are dating
Mm-hmm.
at a very young age. We are dating at a very very young age, between the age of 20 up to the age of 25. That's when we're
Mm-hmm.
dating, and you find that you are trying to be loyal to someone who's
Mm-hmm.
not being loyal to you, but the person is trying to be materialistic on you because of the person might be having challenges from their families. And
Mm-hmm.
you keep on forgiving a person in the format whereby you communicate with the person, trying to channel the person, look, what you're doing is totally wrong. I forgive you. I accept that you have cheated. The person continue cheating multiple times. The person continue doing the wrong things multiple times. Now, that is going to lead to something else. I want to know how, I need to know under what circumstances should we forgive our partners? And in which format do we have to communicate with them? Back to you, Rumo.
Okay. All right. That's a perfect question over there. And if you were so keen when I started, I said that we need a proper communication and we need to understand to what extent should we forgive. You see, there's a very controversial video that I did on TikTok, and I had to go on YouTube and do it, and it's titled "Why You Should Never Forgive." You see, as a person, you need to know what extent, because I will not tell you, Ali, for you, you might forgive even 100 times the same mistake, but perhaps myself, I will only forgive twice. So you cannot tell somebody that you need to forgive 10 times, but it is about people need to understand themselves. Learn about yourself. To what extent do you love yourself? To what extent can you take it? Like, for example, somebody is cheating. You know, cheating is a very powerful thing, and it's a very it's what mostly destroy relationship. So how can you forgive somebody who has cheated on you? There are people who can forgive 1 time, 2 times, or even 3 times. But there is someone who doesn't even want to hear about it, leave alone forgiving. They cannot even just hear that somebody was seducing their woman, not even slept with their woman. The moment they get to know that somebody is seducing you and is sending you some text, that relationship is over. So you need to know yourself. You need to understand to what extent should I forgive? Because forgiveness also, you've got to learn. So it is two things. You need to know how to communicate. It's a proper communication. And then you are communicating to somebody who understands how to forgive. It's not just like, once I communicate, you forgive me. No. I hope that answers your roommate's curiosity.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back to you, Rumo. Back to you, Rumo.
Wow, from today on, I'm going to restructure my perception about love. You know, I had the wrong definition about love, but from this session, oh my God, I'm going to be transformed. So, in most cases, people, they suffer with, they actually don't know how to heal from breakups. So, can you just help us in that department?
I see in the screenshot reasons why you can't heal from the breakup. All right.
Yeah.
So
Also, before you answer the question, I also want to add on that the question that my colleague is asking here on the like looking on the reasons why most people they can heal after breakup, because we see a lot of things happening. After people being break up, we see a lot of things happening. One said that, you know what, Rumo left me, now I'm going to kill myself. Others that are doing dramatic things. You find that somebody going to the road to say, no, yeah, no, you're gonna kill me. Like they are doing dramatic things. People are acting so weird. Someone will buy a 5-liter fuel and come to your house, say, I'm going to burn the whole house if you don't forgive me. Like it's a chaos.
Um, It's sometimes I say it's pathetic. You know, that's why I said that the books that were written in 70s will not work for this generation, because those books, and even sometimes I tell my students that you need to listen to music that was made in 70s, love musics, and then listen to love music lyrics today. You'll see a total difference. You see, when you listen to some music that was done in early 70s or late 90s, or maybe 80s, and let's just say early 2000 and below, you will find, you will listen and feel your soul leaving you. You will feel some soothing and see real love, and see the trueness of somebody singing for a woman. But today, a man is singing a song to praise a woman, but literally, you cannot hear any praise. These people are just making noise. People are focused on the beats and not the lyrics itself. So the same applies to today. This generation, we have gone too far that people cannot accept to be rejected. You see, we need to teach our children to understand that rejection is okay. Being left is okay. Divorce is okay. Breakup is fine. You're not going to die because of that one man. You should not kill yourself because of that one woman. And that's why I said that you want to get in relationship when you are independent. You see, why would somebody want to kill you as a woman? Somebody has given you everything. This person bought you a Mercedes Benz. This person took you to college and paid all your school fees. This person invested every single penny that he's been working so hard to earn on you. And then when you graduate with another man. And you're trying to tell him that he should just go and heal. I don't think it works. These are the people who will go to the roadside and, even commit suicide because he's invested his time. And the same applies to the man. A woman takes her time, gives you what you need, everything, sacrifices her money, sacrifices her time, even rejects some other man for you. And then the time she's expecting you to maybe, tell her, will you marry me? Propose to her. You're telling her, you know what? It's over. So we need to teach people that rejection is fine. And the moment you are in a relationship, there are two things that can happen. You can either have this relationship forever, or it might not lead you to where you're opting for. And remember, even if somebody doesn't reject you, death is there. As Christians, we said we're accepting to be together until death separates us. So death is also there. Sometimes we just need to accept, to come. And before we do that, we need to talk to people, to tell them, to advise them, to allow them chew it and eat the pie, which is so bitter, and understand that, relationships are sweet, but it reaches a time that you need to look further and away from just the relationship. See what you have gained from it and forget about the pain. Take the knowledge, take the skills, take the education, take the lessons with you. So now, there are reasons that make people not heal properly. And there are so many reasons, but I want to talk about two reasons. One reason is ego. You have just broken up with your partner. But as I said, there are men or women out there that you are dating today, and they are dating other people as well. So you break up today, tomorrow you are driving, or maybe you are going to work, you see them kissing with another man somewhere, or kissing with another woman somewhere, or you see them at the mall walking, holding hands together, and you're like, isn't that my boyfriend? How come he moved that quickly? What will people say? I was the one who had a mistake. I was the one who was wrong. So what do? I rush into getting another man or getting another woman into my life. Ego, to prove to people that you are right. he was wrong just because you saw her with another woman. Perhaps that's even his cousin that you never knew before when you were dating. Perhaps that's just a friend. But because of ego, you want to show people that, you know what? I was just the right person. I also have my own. You will not heal because you'll still have the pain. You're trying to cheat yourself. You're not cheating people, because here your intention is to cheat what people will think about you. But the reality is you're cheating yourself, because when you go home and you sit down yourself, you'll still be questioning yourself. How come did he just move on like that? What did I do? Am I the one who has a problem? So this is going to add you more pain. It will not give you a chance to heal. So you want to withdraw ego. See him with another woman, see her with another man. Get down and tell yourself that, you know what? I was right. Even though he's having another person, I stand on my feet. I was right. I don't care whether he was right or not. My part, I played my roles well, and this is where God put me. Number two is people trying to show the people they were with in relationship that they were better. We want to prove ourselves. We want to prove that we were good. So you rush. You see, healing in relationships or healing after breakup is somebody taking her time or his time not to get into any kind of a relationship until you forget all the stress, all the pain. You recollect yourself back. I always tell ladies that you feel like you're a virgin again. Think about yourself when no one had even approached you and told you, you know what, you're so beautiful. Think about that time. That is when you can know that, yeah, I've healed. You will forget that you've ever been in relationship. And I tell men that, think like you've never opened your wallet and issued some cash or check to a woman. That's the time, like, you're just that young boy, that high school student who never even knew what is telling somebody you're so beautiful is. That's what we call healing. But the problem with us, we want to show our partners that we were right and they were wrong. So how do we show them? We get into the next relationship. How are you going to heal? You will not heal. The truth is, and I will tell people here, you can lie to everyone, but you can never lie to yourself. And healing is understanding that you don't cheat yourself. If you want to heal, don't lie to yourself. Lie to people, but not yourself. If you tell yourself the truth, you will heal after breakup. But if you lie to yourself that, let me do this to convince other people, let me do this because he did the same, let me do this because I need to pass through this. No one will help you to heal. And a new relationship does not help you to heal. A new relationship is like a salary. Salary is like painkiller. Painkiller doesn't treat you. It only suspends or postpones the pain that you have. But you need to rush to the hospital to find out why you are ailing. So when you rush into a new relationship, it's going to give you a painkiller. It will stop for a moment. But the time you will think back, it's going to come. And the ultimate result of it is that you will bring trouble to this new relationship and you will break up again. Now you will be having two broken hearts that need to be healed. So ladies, get back to the time you were virgin, and men, get back to the time your wallet was still zipped. That's it.
Thank you so much. That was very informative, and I believe with this message, our relationship status won't be the same, because it seems as if there is a lot of confusion going on both on men and women. But with this session, I'm telling you, people will come back with testimonies about love, about healing. Thank you so much, and I will hand over to Ali.
All right. Thank you so much, Rumo. Thank you so much for that. My brother John Cora, we thank you so much, my brother, for taking your time. Very quickly before you go offline, I want to check with you on this one. There are young people who are watching, who are listening, all over Africa and all over the world. I'm aware that a lot of people they have issues in terms of their relationship, especially we're looking on the youth. If there was a time whereby you'll be given an opportunity where you find that all the youth coming from all parts of Africa and Asia and the world are sitting in the same room, what are some of the words that you're going to share with the young ones looking into the current status of the relationship problems that they're actually facing?
The words that are so powerful in my heart that I want to tell a young man today that is considering to be in a relationship is do not rush into relationships. Number two, stop looking for a perfect relationship. Perhaps the person that you are with is the perfect person that you're looking for. But because you rushed before knowing yourself, you are thinking they're wrong. Number three, what you see on the other end of your screens might not be the same thing as you think it is. A lot of people have hidden so many things and they are mirroring only what they want you to see. What you have in your hands is what you can make perfect or you can destroy. So the moment you see someone and you feel they are perfect for you, you feel that there are people who can make you better, your instinct is always right. So, my dear brothers, Africans, Asians, those who are in the Europe, the Americans, just listen. When you hold a hand, use it well, guide it well, show it the way you want to pass. And if we all do that, no one is going to cry. I am not saying that men have to do it or ladies have to do it. We all have to do this together. Relationships work. True love is still there. There's too much of it in plenty. What we need to understand is where are we going? At what time? With who? And it will work for us. I wish you all the best, guys, and hope that one day we will meet in a big room and talk so much of this kind of relationship talks.
Yes, my brother, we'll definitely do. And we thank you so much for taking your time to come and join the show. What we are going to do here, we are just going to play some of the work that you have done. We tried to get some of the clips from your channel. We'll be playing them. We have 2 clips here. The first clip that we're going to go through, it's about 6 minutes and 44 seconds. It's how to make love and be loved. And the second one is when people take advantage, I think it's of a person or something. I will play those clips. And we thank you so much. Rumo, what are your vote of thanks from your side, Rumo, before we play the videos?
I would like to say thank you so much, Ali, for this opportunity, and thank you so much, John Cora. Like, I wish when I grow up, I would be maybe a life coach, because what you're sharing with us, it's wisdom personified. You know, I've learned a lot, and every time when I'm thinking thoughts about love, I thought maybe I'm crazy. Firstly, I thought maybe I'm living in my own world. And I was afraid to voice out my opinions about this whole thing. But now you just gave me the boldness to stand up next time to say, you know what, I prefer one. And when I'm alone, when I'm meditating, I will be able to tell that this is wrong, this is right. And I should also trust my instinct. So I've learned a lot from you, and I hope we'll meet some other day on this platform. Thank you so much.
Asante say.
Asante sana, Ali.
You are listening to Go Youth Podcast with Ali SA. So let's talk about all the societal issues affecting the youth, issues such as relationships, money, and many more. Like
to calculate how much somebody loves you, but it all starts with you. What you give to yourself, what you expect from yourself, not people. Because you know what? It is said, do not expect anything from anyone, but expect everything from anyone. Because what happens, people can be surprising. Sometimes you never expected something from someone, but they deliver it. Sometimes you expected something from someone, they don't deliver it. Most often, a lot of people ask me a question about, how do I know my boyfriend loves me? How do I know my girlfriend loves me? Some people go ahead and ask question, how can I love my boyfriend better? Or how can I love my girlfriend better? You see, it's a question of how you're trying to find solution from other people and try to copy paste this solution into the reality. But now listen, you see, there are so many things that have been choreographed by human beings that is called relationship rules. You have to do this for this to work. You have to go slow in replying to his text or her text for it to work and to look like you are serious and not desperate. You have to respond to all his messages or her messages to be like that. You know, so many rules. You have to play hard to get as a woman. If he comes for the first time, don't tell him yes. You have to say like, you know, let me think about it before I come back with a response. And these are all what we call relationship rules and regulations. But now let us get back to reality. Does it really work? Look, people, it is known, and each and every one of us understands that, you see, what works for John might not work for Mike. What works for Mike and doesn't work for John might work for Peter, and what works for Peter might not work for me and might not work for Mike. So there has never been a pattern or a regulation or rules to be followed in a relationship. It all depends on what you want your relationship to look like. There's no formula to calculate how much somebody loves you, but it all starts with you. What you give to yourself, what you expect from yourself, not people. Because you know what? It is said, do not expect anything from anyone, but expect everything from anyone. Because what happens, people can be surprising. Sometimes you never expected something from someone, but they deliver it. Sometimes you expected something from someone, they don't deliver it. So don't expect anything from anyone, but expect everything from anyone. Back to our topic. The first thing that you want to destroy to make a relationship work is listening to theories and listening to general conclusion of relationships. Yes, it is okay and it is good to seek guidance from those people who have tried and tested. But again, what worked for people or never worked for other people might work for you or not work for you. If you want anything to happen, you want your relationship to improve, to look good, to look great, to have its best result, you need to listen to yourself. You need to listen to the person you are in a relationship. You need to give it time. You need to open up and be somebody who is ready to learn, ready to take in and ready to take out. Be somebody who is open-minded. Be somebody who can listen to a story but doesn't try to compare it with what you are currently having. Because what kills everything that you have invested in within that relationship is the comparison that people do. You go to a coach tells you that, you know what you have to do is you have to give him some time. Don't reply back to him so fast, because could be he will be thinking that you're so desperate. And coach knows that is what works for maybe a good percent of his people that he's been coaching. But you're having this guy who doesn't believe that things have to be taken slow. He believes in one-time response, and you miss that one good man who has got the personality and all the qualities you want in a man, because you are generally practicing what the rules, relationship rules and regulation tells you. You see, if you're a woman, stop pretending that you're playing hard. playing hard as a woman doesn't mean that you take time to say yes. It means, if you want to play hard, it means you raise your standards to higher level. You develop yourself, you learn self-love, you learn how to behave, you learn and understand what you want in each and every relationship. You prepare yourself for the timing of when somebody's going to approach you. That is what we call playing hard. So stop looking at life on general perspective. Look at life from your own end. Try to innovate, try to create, try to learn yourself, try to come up with solutions from within. Try to listen to people, but do not compare. Let what people tell you add you some knowledge on how to make your decision and how to make your own rules within your relationship. Relationship rules does not work. It only works when you formulate what you want your specific relationship to look like. My name is John Cora, aka
You are listening to Go Youth Podcast with Ali SA. So let's talk about all the societal issues affecting the youth, issues such as relationships, money, and many more. Lucky thing is that you can listen to Go Youth Podcast in the comfort of your own home. Go Youth Podcast, by the youth, for the youth, about the youth.
I know it is hard, but sometimes I question people. Why are you worried? You're worried of somebody who could not support you. You're worried of somebody who doesn't value you. You're worried of somebody who doesn't respect you. You're worried of somebody who doesn't appreciate the fact that you have invested your time, your resources, and everything in them. So allow me today to read part of an email that I received from one of the fans that follow me. And we've been in touch, we've talked, and I think the advice that I gave to her is going to help her. But now, maybe you could be in the same position, but let me read part of the email. I won't read all of it because it's a long one. But this very part is special and we need to all listen for today's video. Coach, I've been giving this guy my money. He's been having a lot of problems, but I've always been coming through for him. He's a good guy. He's been showing me love, and I've been showing him love as well. I've taken care of him, paid his bills. In fact, sometimes I even support him to take care of his only son that he's taking care of as a single dad. But recently, things changed. He started avoiding me. He's been having issues. He's been telling me he's busy. He doesn't work. He's always just at home or maybe with friends. He likes sports and most often he's in the field playing. But sometimes, even when I go to where he plays, he tries to avoid me. Let me just pass it and make the last one. I don't know what to do. I'm 26, he's 37. But I've invested everything, including my heart for him because he's the only guy in my life. I've tried to change him, to make him somebody that I think is best for both of us. But it turns out that he's not listening to me. He's also not ready to change. I don't know. I need your advice. What should I do? I have really invested a lot of my money in him, even trying to start a business that did not work for both of us. I can read it and read it because it's a long email. Now, I want you to tell me something. Why are you crying? I want to understand the reason why you are crying as a woman right now. Because of a person you loved so much, you sacrificed to assist, to uplift, to help, to support, to give the power of feeling himself and also to make him comfortable. But they decide to pierce your heart into pieces. You see, I've always maintained that as a woman, your money should be your money. As a man, your money should be your money. unless you are two married couples who have got money or financial goals together. But the moment you start giving or dishing money out, or even not money but resources, investing your time, investing your resources, investing your heart into a relationship that you are not sure of, a relationship that you don't even know, it's destiny. You are investing in someone who doesn't look like is so serious in a relationship. It is not a mistake to invest. And I've always told women this, that you should never regret if you have invested your time, you have invested your resources, you have invested your money in a man. You should never regret as a man if you have invested your money, your resources, your time and everything in a woman, and then they turn out to break your heart into pieces. The truth is, when people break your heart into pieces, there is always the other guy who comes up, picks up your pieces, puts them together, and makes you a whole, and you find yourself back. The problem is that when our hearts are broken into pieces, we tend to take too long to get to receive that other person. And let me just remind you about the other person. The other person is always the person that you were in the first place. This is the person who comes and picks up your pieces of heart, the pieces that have been torn, and puts it together. Not another person like a second party. You see, when somebody breaks your heart, you become a different person. So you have to realize without regrets and take the lessons with you and sit somewhere and relax and take your time to put yourself together. This is the other person. The other person is the first person you were before you met the people who broke your heart. I know it is hard, but sometimes I question people. Why are you worried? You're worried of somebody who could not support you. You're worried of somebody who doesn't value you. You're worried of somebody who doesn't respect you. You're worried of somebody who doesn't appreciate the fact that you have invested your time, your resources, and everything in them. I want you to listen to this and listen to this voice carefully. Your life is so much important. Whatever you have lost, let it go. Whatever you have invested in, sometimes you are a guardian angel. Sometimes we get ourselves into things and relationships that are not meant to be ours, but we are meant to come into those relationships and help people to come from one stage to the other. You see, sometimes God sends you as a guardian angel to help other people come out of their stress, come out of their problems, come out of their shit. And it doesn't mean that these people have to stick with you forever. You have to learn. You have to take your time, be patient in relationship, know why you are there, and know who you are investing in. My take is, when I get into relationship, I want to take my time to know the person I'm loving. It doesn't matter. They will show you disrespect. They will show you they don't care. They will show you so many things, but you don't want to run away. You don't want to care and mind. You want to learn. You want to take your lessons with you. By the time you are leaving this place, you are leaving this place when you've got all the lessons. You've learned something in life. You see, the moment we rush and leave some relationships because some people are showing us disrespect, because some people are not giving us their time, because some people are showing us their big egos, we miss to learn lessons. And if we don't learn that lesson with the person that you are with at that moment, and you leave without taking that lesson with you, you are going to get yourself into the same place again and again. So this is the thing. Do not lose yourself in a relationship. Put yourself together. Look at the other end. Give them the space. Let them show you whatever they want to show. Learn your lessons. And when the time comes, God is going to show you the correct place to be. Sometimes that is the place that you have to be. God is just trying to show you what you are getting yourself into so you can know how to balance. Or sometimes God is trying to show you that if you could manage this, you will appreciate what I'm going to give you next. So I want to tell everybody here, if you have invested your time, your resources and everything in a certain relationship, but you're feeling like these people are not reciprocating it, you have invested your money, you have invested everything that you can mention, but these people end up breaking your heart. Do not be worried. Do not cry. Do not beat yourself up. Thank God for the time period that you got these people in your life. You have learned a lesson, you have become better, wiser, and God has used you to uplift them. That's a blessing. My name is John Cora. I'm a life coach. If this was
You are listening to Go Youth Podcast with Ali S.A. Greatest topics of the world, like